Who loves social studies? Oh, okay. You guys are weird, man. Okay, well, I grew up in East Vancouver, okay? In the best neighborhood in town. And where's that? Woohoo! Strathcona. This is my backyard, okay? This is where I grew up.
What's your backyard?
It was my backyard until the city ruined it. And they tried to ruin it with urban renewal. This is where I grew up. And these places is where I built my most fond memories of catching frogs. It was here that I started my whole love for frogs. And I'm still doing to this day was my presentation to schools throughout Vancouver. Because I'll tell you, ask me about frogs, why they're important. And I'll tell you why, because it saves humanity. Strathcona. I don't think you can read that up there. But let me explain to you what it says. This is real. Okay? This is my grade 1, because I got promoted to grade 2. This character here is me when I was, 6 years old in Strathcona. I was really a bad boy. A really naughty boy, okay? A really bad boy. I know that because I get reminded now by all my elders. Here's part 2 here. He thinks at time that school is a lark. I can't sit still in my chair. Because it's true. In the days when I went to school, I don't know, it was, okay, let me ask this question. Do you think teachers would write this sort of remarks today? No. In those days, it was really like black and white and it's in your face. And I tell you, I had to cut this presentation short because I had another one with this feather duster, a gaimo saw, you know? And I had these bamboo canes all across my rear end. And because I'm such a naughty boy, my mom and my dad, who used to work like 2-3 jobs, and my grandparents used to work, knew that I'd be in trouble if I were left alone running around. So they used to keep me in the house and ask my aunt and uncle to keep an eye on me. So what did I do? I sat down and read comic books. So unfortunately, I cut it out from here, but this is Strathcona during urban renewal time. But it was there I found and learned about history through comic books. Anyone heard of Uncle Tom's Cabin? Yeah, Uncle Tom's Cabin. They talk about the comic book. Yes, the Classics Illustrated. It was it opened my eyes to racism in the U.S. And then I also read Marco Polo. I learned about ancient China. And then there's another comic book from Classics Illustrated, and it was called A Tale of Two Cities. And I learned about the French Revolution. It was through comic books. But I was growing up in a time in Strathcona, it was very interesting, and I loved it because, anyways, they were cutting a highway through Chinatown. How many of you remember this? Okay, giving away your age here. Oh, come on, okay. Everybody knows about what happened in Chinatown. This is my, one of the guys I really admire, Arthur Erickson, late Arthur Erickson. I think it's Vancouver's greatest designer. People in Strathcona fought this. We were the first community in North America that stood up to the government as a community. And that's what really galvanized what we know today as Vancouver as a community of communities, okay? And that's the most beautiful thing about our city. And I'm very proud to say that it all started here, where we're standing in Vancouver, Strathcona, Chinatown. So what? Okay, it's Chinatown, right? So what? Who really cares? Well, this is my Chinatown. This is the Chinatown I grew up in. And I remember all the elderly men, used to be so many elderly men in Chinatown. I always remember that. And guess what? Because of Canada's racist laws in the past, they were not allowed to bring their spouses over. Well, many of them did not get married. So there was a whole generation of single elderly men. So when I walked down Chinatown, Pender guy, you know, Pender guy, or Kifa guy, right? They call it Kifa right now, which is another dialect, Hong Kong dialect or Cantonese, which I still go for the Toy San Hoi Ping dialect, which is my old memory. I walk down there and they'll look at me and they'll touch my hair, okay? They'll tap my belly and they'll buy me candy because there weren't many little boys around that time. Again, we talk about memory and history. So these are my really fond memories of Chinatown. So what Canada did, or North America did to a lot of the Asian males, I'm a product of, because I got spoiled by all these elderly gentlemen at the time. I still remember a lot of these people, and even when I go to sleep, I can still remember the faces. Right? And that's one of the neat things about, I guess I do have a good memory, so it helps. But so what? Even at nighttime, it was really colorful. And now I'm really happy to see there's a bit of a renaissance in neon lights in Vancouver. But this stuff here, it's animated, it's colorful, and it's very inviting because it's exciting. And this, at the time, I guess in Chinatown, was a lot of gambling, and there's a lot of, how do you call it in China? Nightclubs, sort of that type of activity. So my grandparents just say, oh, that was so seedy and all that stuff. Why do you like that stuff for? Because as a young person, this was exciting to me. These things used to flash and move and rotate, and it was really exciting, right? And the best thing was just at the top of Penner and Gore, in a little corner here, the Palm and Tongue building, there used to be a toy store. Remember that toy store, you guys? That was my favorite part about Chinatown. So, fond memories, right? But then something happened. Oh. Okay, well, nothing happened. Okay. It was like one of these events we're having right now where it's community presentation of sorts. It was at the Strathcona Community Center, that there was this Asian cop. And it was a community something day, I can't remember, and I was about maybe 12 years old. And I knew that when I was growing up in school, I was being picked on because of my color of my skin. But then I heard about this. And it was that officer, that Asian officer, I don't know who he is or what his name is now, but he showed me pictures to everybody who was walking through as a public event of a riot in Chinatown. And I looked at this, and it really struck to me as like, I didn't know this. I mean, I didn't know there was racism in Vancouver. I thought it was just a bunch of these white guys, these foreign kids just beating me up because of my color. And, it happened to my grandfather when he was growing up. And it was worse. It was really, really terrible. I remember this, my dad told me about it, and, it's stuff like this that I was sheltered from. I didn't know this had happened here in our own city. And at that time, I was just about to start high school. I said, no more BS. Watch my language here. No more. So I want to do something about it. And it was at that moment in my life that I want to